Hi and welcome. This is Ren. This is going to be our beginner's yoga practice. So if you're new, relatively new, or coming back after a long hiatus, this is going to be a great yoga practice for you to try out. If you don't have a yoga mat, please don't worry about it. You can use a towel, your carpet, any kind of exercise mat that you have if it's not a yoga mat, a blanket, don't worry, just something between you and the floor. A couple things, if you have something like a yoga strap, which can be a scarf, a belt, a sock, a hand towel, something like that, it could be useful. If you don't have something like that, I'll give you some options, so don't worry. So have that handy. Another thing that could be useful, some kind of a pillow, whether it's a couch pillow or your regular pillow or a throw or something like that. And then also not necessary but can be useful is some kind of a blanket. So let's head on over to our space and we'll get started. So if you do have some kind of a pillow, let's start sitting on it. You can have your legs crossed like this. If your knees are way up here, don't worry. If you're sitting here like this and this is not comfortable for you, you can have your legs extended out or just really any comfortable seat. So once you start to settle into that seat, you can just rest your hands comfortably either at your sides or in your lap. And then either look softly downwards with an unfocused gaze or close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, not focusing on the screen, just be guided by my words. And know that there's nothing else to do, there's nowhere else to be. This time is for you. The rest of the world will still be there waiting for you. The to-do lists, all of that, just set it to the side. Just let your breath come and go as it needs to. Don't really worry about the rhythm of the breath, but do start to notice it. Notice where in your body the breath feels like it fills. If it seems to just be in the upper chest, or if you feel the expansion of the belly, breathing deeply down into the bases of the lungs. And again, just notice, no need to change it here just yet. Notice your posture. If it feels like the upper back is rounded, the low back is tight. Notice where in the body you normally hold tension, whether that's in between the eyebrows or in the jaw, shoulders, neck, tense belly or hips, hands or feet. Just become mindful and aware of those areas where your tension usually manifests in your body. And then notice the things that are distracting you. The noise of the outside world, whether it's your kids in the other room, your neighbor's TV, the sound of traffic outside, or even just your thoughts. We can't do anything about the noise of the world around us. But what we can do is change the amount of our attention that it gets. And that includes our spinning thoughts. We've all had that moment perhaps when we were entrenched in a good book and someone came into the room and called our name and we didn't even hear them. We do have that ability to shift our focus, but it takes practice and it takes self-compassion. So throughout our practice today, when you start to notice the mind wandering, as it tends to do, just compassionately and gently guide it back to the in and out of your breath. And so let's bring our attention there now. Take a deep inhale and an open mouth exhale. Seal your lips. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Once more, in and out. And then seal your lips, breathing in and out through your nose as you need to. Start to sit up just a little taller, drawing the crown of the head towards the sky and aligning the back of the head and the sacrum, the tailbone, in one straight line. Starting to feel this more spacious posture, you may notice your shoulder blades naturally drawing slightly together and down the back. The low belly pulling in and up to hold us upright. Not sitting up so straight that it causes a lot of tension in the body, but straight enough to allow a little more space for the breath to move. And of course, we can only breathe into our lungs, but as our lungs expand, we create pressure and space in the belly and pressure and space in the pelvis. So imagining that breath now traveling all the way down to the floor of the pelvis. Breathe in and let it ease softly out. A couple more breaths like that on your own. Imagining each inhale as encircling your pelvis with breath, encircling your belly with breath, encircling your heart with breath. So you not only feel the belly and the front of the chest expand, but your sides of your waist, your sides of your rib cage, and the low back and the backs of the lungs filling up and emptying. Let go of any tension in between the eyebrows or in the corners of the eyes or mouth. Let your jaw soften, separating your two rows of teeth. Sides of the neck become soft and allow the shoulders to sink down and away from the ears. And then if your eyes are still closed, blink them open. We'll inhale and reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, reach up. This time, interlace your fingers, press your palms to the sky, and take a little bend over to your right. Exhale. Again, it's perfectly fine if your breath doesn't quite follow along with how I cue. Breathe when you need to. Make sure you're never holding your breath. Inhale, sit back upright, and exhale, bend to your left. Inhale back through center. Let go of your fingers. Exhale, twist towards your right. Let your hands come down in front of and behind you. Stay here in this gentle twist. Inhale, sit up a little taller, spine a little straighter. Exhale, twist from the area of your belly. Just continue to breathe here, perhaps backing off of this twist just a little bit as you inhale, and slightly deepening it as you exhale. That movement might be imperceptible to anyone but you. This time, inhale, unwind and reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, hands coming down in front of and behind you, pausing here to breathe, perhaps 2 or 3 rounds of breath. And then on your next inhale, unwind and reach the hands up. Press your palms together. Exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart. and then down by your sides. If you're sitting on a pillow, go ahead and rock forward off of it and set it to the side. If you need some extra padding underneath your knees, you can grab a blanket and put it under your knees. If you don't, then we'll just set up into our tabletop shape. Shoulders stacking over wrists, hips stacking over the knees, and your knees are separated to your hips with distance. Hands are at shoulder width distance. Inhale, soften the belly down, look up and lift your tailbone, cow pose. Exhale, press the floor away, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tail, cat pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Continue at your own pace with your breath. Might be faster or slower. You may add extra rounds of breath in between. Let go of any expectations about what you think this should look like, or trying to perfect any of these shapes. Just tune into how the body is feeling and practice linking breath with movement. One more round. And then come to a neutral tabletop shape. Bring the toes together, knees out wide. Sit back into your child's pose. Relax the forehead down, let the arms relax. Breathing deeply here with the belly compressed, you may be able to connect more with the feeling and the sensation of the backs of the lungs opening up. Keeping the head and hips low, start to walk your hands over to the right, keeping the left hip heavy and stretching in the left side body. Walk the hands back through center and then all the way over to the left, keeping the right hip heavy and stretching in the right side body. Walk the hands back through the center. Take one more breath here. Know that you can return to this child's pose anytime throughout your practice for a few breaths of rest. And then coming back to your tabletop shape. Knees returning back under the hips and feet extending straight out from the knees. Walk your hands about one handprint forward. Tuck your toes under and then come into your cow pose. Send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Keep a nice bend in the knees here. Press the hands down and back. Send your sitting bones up and apart from one another. Don't worry about how straight the legs are. Just worry more about the angle of the sitting bones. You can pedal out in your feet, straightening one leg and then the other, or even sway the hips from side to side. And then start to move towards stillness in this shape. Inhale and look forward in between your thumbs. Exhale, walk the feet forward and fold. Any amount of a bend in the knees is fine. Relax your neck. Inhale, press up halfway. Press your hands into your shins and straighten your spine. Pull the low belly in and up. Exhale, fold and release. Press the feet firmly down into the floor. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, press your hands together and slide them down in front of your heart. And then release them down by your sides. Half sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press the feet down to rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands slide in front of the heart, and then relax by your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, standing all the way up, press the feet into the floor. Exhale, hands slide through to the heart center and by your sides. Twice more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands come through and down. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root the feet down to rise up. Exhale, hands come together in front of the heart and relax down by your sides. Great. Inhale, reach up, interlace your fingers, press your palms to the sky and take a bend over to your right. Inhale, palms to the sky, exhale, bend to your left. Inhale, come back through center, release your hands and place them on your low back. Your fingertips can face down or up or to the side, whatever feels best for your wrists. Separate your feet just a little more than hips width and have a soft bend in your knees. Inhale, lift your sternum, your breastbone up towards your chin. Exhale, lean back slightly. Pause here for a couple breaths, breathing into the space in front of your heart. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. If you feel any lightheadedness, bend your knees more and softly come out of this shape. And inhale, come back, and exhale, relax your arms down. You can step your feet back closer together so they're right underneath your hips if you like. And then send your hips back as you bend your knees and come into chair pose. Make sure the knees aren't collapsing in together. Press the feet down into the mat or into the floor and then energetically apart from one another as if you were trying to pull apart whatever it is that you're standing on. Low belly engages, belly button towards the spine. If it feels okay, you can bring your hands to your waist or even reach them out in front of you. If that causes tension in the neck or shoulders, then just leave them down here. That's perfectly fine. Chair pose. Notice where you're distributing your weight in your feet. If it's in your toes, in your heels, try to get it to be in the center. Press your palms together in front of your heart. Elbows can come out wide. Inhale, stand up about 80% of the way. Exhale, sit down and back, low belly up, glutes engaged. Inhale, stand up, 80% of the way. Exhale, sit down and back, chair pose. One more time, inhale. Exhale. This time we'll inhale and stand all the way up, reach overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we'll exhale, plant the hands underneath the shoulders and step back to plank pose or top of a push-up. What holds you up here in this shape is everything underneath you. So press your hands through the floor, hug your low belly in and up and contract your quads to your femurs. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. And then gently set your knees down wide, touch your toes together, sit back, child's pose. Take a few breaths of rest here. Let the heart rate slow down. And then come back to your tabletop shape. Walk the hands slightly forward. Tuck the toes under. Come into cow pose. Inhale. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right away, inhale, look forward between the thumbs. Exhale, walk the feet forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and pause here. Step your left leg back and set your back knee down. Come into this low lunge. If you notice that your right knee is way forward of your ankle, then rock back and walk your foot forward. Make sure your legs are separated, 2 lanes of traffic and not a balance beam. If your back knee needs some padding, you can put a blanket underneath there. Just start to rock softly back and forth. If you feel real hunched over and the floor feels really far away, feel free to bring your hands to your front thigh. And then bring both hands down on the inside edge of your right foot. So both hands are inside of the right foot. Keep your back knee down. And then on an inhale, feel your spine lengthen, crown of head reaches forward. Exhale, lift your right arm as you twist towards your right. Stay here for a couple breaths. Then slowly unwind. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then a quiet step. See how quietly you can step this right foot back to meet the left in plank. If it drags a little, that's okay. Take an inhale. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward in between your thumbs. Exhale, walk your feet forward and fold. Inhale, come up halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold and pause. Step your right leg back and set your right knee down. Coming into this lunge on the left side. Walk your left toes forward and make sure your legs are 2 lanes of traffic. Just start to rock back and forth. Again, if bringing your hands to the mat doesn't feel right, you have that option to bring them to the thigh. Very gentle movement here, not moving to your greatest points of range of motion, maybe about 85% of the way forward and back. Those areas of tension in the body where you normally hold that tension, see if you can soften them, let them feel relaxed. And then come forward, having both hands on the inside edge of the left foot. Notice if this knee is kind of way out to the side, you want to hug it close to your shoulder. This back toes can be tucked or top of foot down, however you feel more stable. Take an inhale here, long spine. Exhale, left arm swings up and open as we twist to the left. Couple breaths here. And then unwind, both hands coming back down. If your back toes aren't tucked already, tuck them under and lift your right knee. See how quietly you can step that left foot back into plank pose. Take a breath in, and then hips high, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. And then inhale, look forward in between your thumbs. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press the feet down to rise up. Exhale, hands through heart and by your sides. Make sure your feet are separated to at least your hips distance. And then step your left foot straight back so that you come into a lunge with your right leg forward. So we'll be on the ball of the back foot, front foot is flat. This front knee, now that we're in a weight-bearing pose, we want to make sure that this knee does not go forward of the ankle, so make adjustments as you need to. Imagine your legs are scissors that are trying to close. Engage your inner thighs towards one another so that the hips are more or less facing forward. If they're not perfectly forward, don't worry. Hands can stay at the hips or reach up overhead. If this causes tension or hunching in the shoulders, then be okay with leaving your hands on your hips. Just hold here and breathe. Then take a deep bend into that back knee, and then step forward, 2 equal feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands touch, and come down in front of the heart. Relax your hands by your sides, and then we'll step the right leg straight back. Adjust your stance, 2 lanes of traffic so you have a nice wide base. Back heel is lifted, front foot is flat, knee stacking right over the ankle. Arms can stay at your sides or reach up overhead. Keep those inner thighs squeezing towards one another, or as if your feet were trying to squeeze towards one another, like you were going to bunch up your mat underneath you. A lot of the purpose of yoga is to control and smooth the breath while we do something difficult with the body that will serve you well off of your mat and in your life. The ability to take that deep breath, to calm the mind when we're going through something difficult. Take a deep bend into that back knee, step forward, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and come down to all fours. Just 1 round of cat-cow here. Soften the belly, lift the gaze, inhale. Exhale, press the floor away. And then inhale back to a neutral spine. For all my nurses out there and doctors, respiratory therapists, everybody out there who's on their feet, this one's for you. So tuck your toes under and make sure even your pinky toe is facing forward. It might need some help. And then gently, gently, slowly sit back on your heels. I know. So if you get back here and you feel excruciating, sharp pain, back off. You might put a little blanket or pillow in between your sitting bones and your heels to make this less intense. If it just feels like an extreme stretching sensation, then I encourage you to stick with it. I know it's intense. It's called broken toe pose or toe crusher. But for those of us who are always on our feet, I'm a nurse as well, this one is really good. Also great for athletes, runners, cyclists, really anyone who has feet and wears shoes. Use your breath here. This is a difficult thing to do. This is challenging. It's easy to let the monkey mind get going and saying, oh my God, I hate this one. Is this going to be over? I can't stand it. That's what we're all saying about a lot of things right now. So this is where the power of our breath is really helpful. Take those deep breaths. Imagine as if your breath could continue all the way down to the pelvic floor. And let it go. And if you're following along with this video, you might not know when this is going to end. Just like we don't know when what's going on is going to end. But could we stay here and weather this storm for 3 more breaths? in and out, in and out. Don't rush it. In, all the way out. And then rock forward to your tabletop. Untuck your toes. I know it feels like it's going to hurt, but it's going to feel good. Tap the tops of your feet down. And then with the tops of the feet down, go ahead and sit back just for a couple breaths to counter that extreme stretch in the feet. If that was really unpleasant and unbearable, I encourage you to do it more often than once. It gets better over time, and it's really good for your feet. Again, if it's causing pain or sharpness, do a modified version of it. I absolutely don't want you to push too hard. And then go ahead and rock forward and come to a seat. You can either cross your legs at the ankles and sit back or swing your legs around. Scoot forward so you have enough room behind you to lie down. If you have that scarf or strap or whatever, go ahead and lie back and hug your knees into your chest. Have that item handy. And you can reach for the backs of the thighs, or if the fronts of the knees or shins are accessible, go ahead and reach for those. And just take a gentle rock from side to side. And then reach for that strap or scarf or sock or whatever it is and hook it on the sole of your right foot, and then extend your left leg straight and let it relax down. Now you can have any amount of a bend in the knee here. It does not have to be straight. But whether it's bent or straight, I do encourage you to flex in that foot a little bit. So as if you were going to touch your toenails to your shin. And with your breath, with your exhales, pull that leg a little bit closer towards you. And with your inhales, let it back off. If you don't have a strap or something like that, you can definitely hold the back of your leg. And just one more. And then release that item to the side. Bend your left knee. Place the left sole of the foot down. And then we'll make a figure four. So cross your right ankle over your left knee and let your right knee relax out to the side. Still keep that right foot flexed. And then you can pull this whole shape closer towards you. Again, either reaching for the backs of the thighs, or if it's accessible, reach your hands through your right hand through the hole that you've created, left hand on the outside of your left thigh, either for the back of the thigh, or again, if the front of that shin is accessible, and press your right elbow to the inner right thigh or knee to encourage that hip to open out to the side. Again, with your breath, inhale, back this shape away from you. Exhale, pull it just a little closer towards you. It may be 1/8 of an inch. It could be more. Don't worry about that. Just so you feel some little stretch in the outer hip or glute or something like that. If you enjoy rocking this shape back and forth, you can stick with that. Or the next time you hug it in towards you, we'll leave it there and then rock that shape from side to side. And then relax both feet down towards the mat. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And then we'll stretch the other leg. So if you're using some kind of a strap, put it on the left sole of the foot. Relax your right leg long. Or without the strap, just reaching for the back of the thigh. Inhale to relax the leg away. Exhale to pull it closer towards you. Don't worry about how straight the leg is. Just use breath with movement together and keep a nice flex in that left foot. Heel reaching high, toes reaching towards the shin. And just one or two more right here. And then if you're using some kind of a strap, set it to the side, bend your right knee, place the right sole of the foot down on the mat, and then cross your left ankle over your right knee. Let the left knee fall open, flexing the left toenails back towards the left shin. Draw this shape closer towards you as you exhale, further away as you inhale. This is likely to look and feel different left to right. That's perfectly fine. If you want to stick with this back and forth, go ahead. If you want to rock it side to side, you can start that now. Just one or two more rounds of breath here. And then release both feet down. Hug the knees into the chest. And then together, let your knees fall over to the left. They may separate, and that's fine. If they feel really far apart and you want to put a blanket or a pillow in between them, you definitely have that option. Your right shoulder blade may have traveled with you, so you want both shoulder blades to be as flat towards the mat as they can be. You can bring your arms out to a T. And to get both shoulder blades down, that may mean less of a twist, and that's perfectly fine. You have the option to keep your gaze up towards the ceiling or look over towards your right hand, getting a stretch in the left side of the neck. Breathe deeply here, let your belly expand. And as if your body could melt just a little bit more down into the floor with every exhale, let the tension fade away. Just keep breathing deeply in and out, as if you're able to let go of something you're holding on to with every exhale. Draw your knees back towards the center. You may need to rearrange your hips to straighten out underneath you. Hug them in. And then let the knees fall over to the right. They may need to scoot the hips a little to the left. Both shoulder blades flat, and the gaze can this time go over towards the left hand. Feel free to close your eyes here, or just have a soft, unfocused gaze. We'll hug our knees back to the center, rearrange the hips underneath you, give those knees a tight squeeze in. This time, even tuck your chin to your chest, bringing the forehead towards the knees, becoming a tiny little ball. And gather up as much tension as you can in the body here. So squeeze the knees in tightly, even clench your jaw, squint your eyes, hug the body tight against all that resistance. Take a deep breath in. And let that breath go with all that tension. Extend the legs long, resting on the mat. Relax your arms by your sides. You can spin the palms towards the sky and sneak your shoulder blades together and down the back. Coming to our final resting pose, Shavasana. Often the most difficult pose in a yoga practice. where we fully let go and relax. Close your eyes here. Let the forehead and corners of the eyes relax. The corners of the mouth, the jaw. Let the shoulders and chest soften. Let your hands and feet relax, belly and hips. Take a scan from head to toe and notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Let it go with your exhale. Let the breath just rise and fall in the belly as it needs to without trying to shape it in any way. When the mind starts to wander, just bring it back to the in and out of the breath. We will lie here for a few moments in silence, and I'll guide you out when it's time. So see if you can let go. Feel free to stay here and rest as long as you need. If you're ready to be guided out, then start to deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. Stretch your arms overhead and stretch your toes in the opposite direction, lengthening from head to toe. And then hug your knees in towards the chest and roll to one side, pausing for a breath or two in this sideline position. Gently and slowly press up to a comfortable seat. Sit up tall, and we'll press our palms together in front of our chests. This gesture is called Anjali Mudra. It's a gesture of gratitude. You can either gaze softly down at your fingertips or close your eyes. We end our practice by saying together, Namaste, which means the light and love within me acknowledges and bows to that same light and love within you. So we'll take a deep breath in together and open mouth exhale. Namaste. Thank you all so much for spending this time with me. I'm very excited to go on this yoga journey with you. leave me comments, ask me questions. I'm always happy to make videos of whatever it is that you need. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and everybody else.